Hello Edexcel students with papers 1 and 2 coming up. This video could not be better timed. I'll be giving you my revision guidance of how you should use the remaining time left before those papers, but also I'll be breaking down the papers, making sure you're okay with the structure, the time management, key advice of how to answer the questions will be coming your way. So you don't want paper 1 to go badly for then you to have to learn and rectify those errors for paper 2. You want both papers to go great. So on that note, stay tuned and watch the entire video, absorb all the information so you can hit the peak of your performance in both papers. Also note that this is one video in my revision for 2024 exams playlist. There'll be a lot more coming, and all those videos that are exam focused will be going into that playlist. So you're watching this one, great, watch all the others, subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss any key uploads coming. So let's get into it, first of all, with revision guidance. How should you use this remaining time before those papers? First piece of advice, in the time that's left before these papers, you should be mastering the content. Content mastery is absolutely fundamental so that you're ready for anything that Edexcel throw your way, whether it's a weird little question in section B, whether it's a tough 25 marker, whether it's something quite like narrow in section A, doesn't matter what Edexcel do, because if your content mastery is great, then any question they throw your way, you can answer it fine. So yes, download the specification if you haven't already, and make sure every single topic area in the spec, you have notes that are covering all the material that you need. To help you further, when it comes to paper 1, my year 1 micro playlist, my year 2 micro playlist, and my labor markets playlist will sort you out completely. So watch those videos if you haven't already to make sure your notes are perfect. And for paper 2, it's my year 1 macro playlist, my year 2 macro playlist, my development economics playlist, and financial markets playlist. They're the videos that you need to watch. Just make sure all the content is being covered perfectly. You're good to go in that sense. And then once you think you've nailed content, topic by topic, practice past paper questions, yes, but do it topically. You've done a topic area, you think your content is great, you've memorized it perfectly, then go straight to doing past paper questions. Start, I recommend, with the section A short answer questions. So find section A questions that link to a topic area you've done, practice those first, because that's a good basic test of your content, of whether the notes that you've made, the content within those notes are actually covering all the material that you need to cover. Section A, doing questions there, will confirm that. If those questions are going really well, then go to essay planning. The short essays in section B, yes, but also 25 markers that have come up in the past from that topic area. Just plan essays. You don't need to write them. Yes, you need to write a few to make sure that time management is good, to make sure your strategy there is working, but essay planning is smarter. You'll get through far more essay titles that way. You will cover more of the course that way with essays, but also it's far more efficient. You won't be spending so long. And within those plans, you're still going to be using techniques for your analysis, for your evaluation on the 25 marker, for the last final judgment paragraph. You'll still be going through those techniques in your plan, but without having to write the entire essay. Far more efficient that way. So yeah, essay planning is great once you've confirmed with section A questions that your content knowledge is actually good. And lastly, give extra weight to diagrams in your revision. Diagrams are awesome. They can back up what you're saying in your analysis. They can even back up what you're saying in evaluation too. So knowing your diagrams well is a way to score extra credit. First thing, in your notes, make sure that you're not just staring at a diagram. Make sure you're practicing drawing diagrams. Do it in rough. Construct diagrams, make sure you can. Train that hand. Never just stare at a diagram and think I get it. But also in your notes, write down where can you use the diagram? Can it be useful in analysis? Or write down where and how you can use it. Is it going to be useful in evaluation? Where and how could it be useful in evaluation? So then you're revising exactly how you can use the diagram, where it can go in an essay or writing. To help you further with diagrams, I have great diagrams videos in my revision for 2024 exams playlist. Power diagrams for paper 1 and for paper 2 is there. More to come your way as well, which is great. But also I've got diagrams playlists covering all the diagrams you need in the course. So check out those videos if you want further help with diagrams. But yes, give extra weight to those. They are super helpful when it comes to scoring extra marks in papers 1 and 2. Now let's break down the papers. Make sure you're ready for everything that's going to come your way with papers 1 and 2. There'll be 3 sections to papers 1 and 2. Section A is your short answer section. There'll be 5 questions in there. Each question will have a multiple choice aspect to it, and then there'll be 4 other marks as well, where you might need to calculate something, define something, explain something, draw a diagram and explain something. You might need to list something or state whatever you need to do for those other 4 marks, just do exactly what the question is asking of you. If it's making you explain in detail. If you need to draw a diagram, make sure you don't miss labels, make sure it's accurate. If you need to calculate, show you're working. Don't miss off any units at the end when you give your answer. If you miss any marks here, it's likely to be silly errors that you're making. So be quick in this section. You want to be 25 minutes, not 30 that Edexcel recommend. I say a mark a minute, 25 minutes. If you can do it quicker than that, even better, because you can use that time for other essays that are coming in section B and section C, but be accurate. Try and avoid any silly little mistakes. There is a great video to help you with section A. It's called Key Equations and Conditions. I've tagged it in the video here. You can click on it and watch it, because often those key equations and conditions are necessary in section A. But you should be enjoying section A. It's a chance for you to score full marks, a nice way to warm you up into the exam paper. Go through it quickly, go through it accurately, practice them well, and you should be good to go. Let's move to section B. I have no idea what Edexcel examiners were thinking when they designed section B. It's a horrible little section, not because it's difficult, not because the questions are hard, but because of time management. It's so tough on time management. I spoke to Edexcel examiners a few weeks ago, and they said still to the day, there are many students who run out of time. So their 15 marker in section B is like 1 line or 2 lines in length, and it messes up their final grade considerably. Time management is the biggest problem. So my advice to you, we're talking about the 5, the 8, the 10, the 12, the 15 marker, these short essays in section B. My advice is you need to have a strategy in 2 ways ready to go as you're revising now for that section. First of all, you need to have a really good time management strategy. And second, you need to have a good essay structure strategy that you know is going to work under time conditions. So when it comes to time management, my advice, just go a mark a minute. If you add that up, 5 minutes for the 5, 8 for the 8, 10 for the 10, 12 for the 12, 15 for the 15, that gives you 50 minutes overall. You actually have 1 hour in total for section B. But if you're thinking a mark a minute, you're being brutal with time management, brutal with what you need to do time management wise for these essays, you're more likely to stick to the timing, knowing that if you're a minute or 2 or 3 over, you have that buffer time. But don't be too lenient, be brutal with tough time management, so then you're more likely to stick to it and not be compromised to the 15 marker at the end or the 25 marker in section C. So that's my advice with time management. And then essay structure. Have essay structures that you're going to use to write your 8, your 10, your 12, your 15. Be ready with those, knowing that they can work, given the brutal time management that you have to stick to. I have an exam technique playlist for all the Edexcel questions. Make sure you watch that. It's the Edexcel exam technique playlist, and I'll go through my recommendations of structure for all of these short essays in section B. Following that, it's very, very doable under those extreme time conditions that you have. You should be good to go. But if not, have your own structures ready to go. Make sure you practice, make sure you know they work, and then you're absolutely fine. And know that in section B, all the points that you write, whether analysis, whether evaluation, can be driven from the extracts. Examiners want you to use the extracts really well. So go there to get the points that you need to write your analysis and evaluation, and then you develop the economics to those points in your writing. That's the way to go in section B. Practice well, plan lots of essays, put yourself under extreme time pressure, and make sure that your time management works and make sure that your essay structure works. You don't want to be falling foul of any of these issues in your actual paper 1 or paper 2. Get ahead of the game now. Be brutal with both of those 2 things. We're good to go. Let's move to section C, the 25 marker. Section C will have 2 25 markers in it. You need to pick one of those. When you're picking your 25 marker, make sure you can write in detail. Detailed analysis, detailed evaluation, and detail in your final paragraph as well. Absolutely fundamental that you can write in detail. That's how you score the highest marks on these 25 markers. So that's how you pick. Pick the essay you can write the most detail about. But also you've got to make sure whichever question you pick, you've got real world examples to back up everything that you're writing. In paper 1, the question might say using a market of your choice, using an industry of your choice, using a labor market of your choice. Paper 2 might say using a developing or a developed country of your choice. It's expected on these 25 markers that you have real world examples you're going to back up all your analysis, all your evaluation with. So hopefully you're revising with real world examples. You know that's an expectation. If not, I have an examples book covering examples for everything in micro, everything in macro. This is a shortcut to get your real world examples if you don't have them already. You can get this from my website if you're interested. But if not, just make sure you have your examples ready to go. It's so important. My advice to you on a 25 marker, first of all, time management, 35 minutes. Remember, it's 25 minutes for section A, 1 hour for section B. That will give you 35 minutes for the 25, which is a great amount of time to write this essay in. But detail is the most important. So essay planning will help you just to develop detail, to make sure you're thinking about detail. But when it comes to writing, really develop those paragraphs well, and you'll score very, very highly. So that's it, guys. That's the key revision advice of how to use this time left before papers 1 and 2, as well as a breakdown of the paper. Hopefully now you're feeling ready to go. You know exactly what you need to do to master your performance, to do great in these final exams. But also note that there are so many more videos coming tailored towards your final exams. This is one in my revision for 2024 exams playlist. So much more to come. Keep an eye on that playlist. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new uploads. I can't wait to see you in future videos. So much more to come to help you. I'll see you in those videos, guys. Thanks for watching.